Lazarus. He's the director of an Israeli advocacy website and a former consultant for the Israeli Foreign Ministry. He's in Jerusalem. And Gideon Sparrow, an Israeli journalist and human rights activist, he joins us from Tel Aviv. First to you, Neil Lazarus. Now, Israel's going to have to play this one very carefully, isn't it, with the world watching so closely. If this ship does breach territorial waters, then Israel's got to stop this ship. It's vowed to do that. How's it going to do that without the use of violence? Is there a likelihood that guns could be used here again?
We hope not. Israel's looking for a peaceful resolution to try and resolve this problem. Look, the real victims here are, how do you get a situation where the people of Gaza can have some hope and a better future? Israel is looking to try and create a better future, both for Israelis and for Palestinians. So these publicity stunts, which are really have nothing to do with humanitarian aid, but rather trying to create publicity, are not helping the Palestinians and are not helping anyone involved in the humanitarian effort.
Publicity stunt, but turning to you, Gideon Sparrow, surely Israel does have grounds to be suspicious of cargo coming from a country like Libya, doesn't it?
Not with this ship, at least. This ship is clearly a humanitarian ship. The captain decided and declared that he is ready to let Israeli soldiers come on the ship and check the ship thoroughly. So there is no danger whatsoever. The problem is not this ship or the other ship. The problem is the blockade. And the blockade is illegal. The blockade is choking 1.5 million people in Gaza. It brought misery to the people. And I support every effort of every humanitarian ship to break the blockade.
But
I don't know if they will succeed, but I
Can I ask you, though, if that ship has on board not just supplies, but also 15 pro-Palestinian activists, isn't that provocative?
Look, provocative maybe, but this is a counter-provocative to the Israeli provocation, because the blockade is the main provocation, and the ship is a second-rate provocation. So I support the ship, and Palestinian activists are not, don't cause any danger to Israel, and I don't mind their being there. They have the right. By the way, the Palestinians have the right to struggle against the occupation, against the Israeli policy of settlements, of stealing land. That's the problem. The problem is the Israeli occupation and oppression.
All right, let me ask Neil Lazarus here.
That's what we are dealing with.
Okay, thank you for that. Neil Lazarus, well, look, if Israel said it's going to ease the blockade, then why doesn't it prove to the rest of the world that it's going to do that by the gesture of allowing this supply ship to go to Gaza? What's the problem?
Let's look at the facts on the ground. The real issue is that Libya, I remind you, my colleague in Tel Aviv seems to have a very short memory. This is the country which blew up an aeroplane over Lockerbie, Scotland, spattering children and men and women onto the ground. This is Libya, which only...
Just remind you that Israel blew up a Libyan plane.
From the Guardian newspaper. If I could speak, sir. If Libya... this is an article from the Guardian, which talks about the public flogging of women who have relationships out of their marriage. This is a country which killed over 1,200 prisoners, lined them up and shot them in Abu Salam prison. This is a country which is talking about human rights. I'm pro-Palestinian because I want to have the Palestinians to have some hope, together with the Israeli children, so we can look for a better future. The facts on the ground, once you leave my colleague's rhetoric in Tel Aviv, is that this is a publicity stunt. The real issue is Hamas, a terrorist organization that took control of the Gaza Strip when Israel left, handed over the Gaza Strip to to the Palestinians. If my colleague in Tel Aviv is so concerned about the Palestinians, as I am, as someone who believes in genuine human rights, you wouldn't be supporting a Libyan publicity stunt. You would be supporting the Palestinians who are seeking to break the siege on Gaza from Hamas, a terrorist organization pledged to the destruction of the whole of the State of Israel.
All right, let's...
Hamas is the problem.
OK, thank you, Neil Lazarus. Let Gideon Sparrow respond to that. Of course, respond to that, please.
Yeah, I would like to answer. First of all, we are not dealing now with the Libyan system, political system. We are dealing with the Israeli occupation and the Israeli blockade. Secondly, I would like to remind my colleague in Jerusalem that Israel too shot a Libyan passenger plane. Israel shot a passenger plane a few years ago. So no one is.
All right. Can I interrupt? Shall we move away from the Libyan? Let's move away from the Libyan.
No one is the righteous here.
Let's move away from the Libyan issue for a moment. Just quickly talk about this recent investigation that the Israeli military have carried out an investigation, and they have actually said that, yes, they accept that there were errors and it did result in a deadly outcome. All right, now, Neil Lazarus, if that happened, why didn't Israel bring anybody to account? If they come out with this report and haven't actually sacked anybody or brought anybody to account, then some people may say this report by the Israeli military is simply cynical.
This report is a classical example of a wishy-washy report.
Absolutely,
it's a wishy-washy report.
This is.
And Israel and the military.
I thought that.
Neil Lazarus, please.
So first of all, you can understand.
May I finish my word?
We're speaking to people that don't. Let me finish the point here.
May I speak?
Israel made a 100% mistake, which is as follows, sir. Let me finish the sentence. The question was directed to me. Israel made a mistake. What was the mistake? The mistake was that we believed that these people on the Marmara ship were peace-loving, humanitarian aid workers. That's the mistake you're making until today, sir. The reality on the Marmara ship was that there were about 60 jihadists dedicated to martyrdom. I'm very worried about what would happen from a ship which is coming from Libya, who has no qualms about blowing up jet planes over Scotland, who has no wish for human rights of women's, gays, or any other minority. Don't let Libya talk to Israel about human rights. We want a resolution of the conflict. We want the people of Palestine, in
Neil
Gaza
Lazarus,
and the West Bank to
Neil
have a better future.
All right. Thank you. You've had your say, Neil Lazarus. Just a final say now from Gideon Sparrow.
Neil is trying to divert us to Libya again. The problem is Israel and the Palestinians. And Israel is ruling the Palestinians. And Israel is ruling. Just a moment, let me finish. Israel is ruling the Palestinians for 43 years and killed more than 1,000 children and thousands other civilians. And Israel is stealing the Palestinian land. And Israel is a terrorist state concerning the Palestinians. In this conflict, there is one terrorist state, which is Israel. The others are protecting themselves.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Some heated debate there. Thank you both very much. Thank you both very much for taking part. We appreciate Neil Lazarus.
You're most welcome.
Neil Lazarus, director of an Israeli advocacy website and former consultant for the Israeli Foreign Ministry, joining us there. And also Gideon Sparrow, Israeli journalist and human rights activist. Thank you both for joining us for that discussion here on RT. We appreciate your time. Thank you.